Yeah,
It's just way too loud, it's not balanced.
what's the point in doing this if we don't know what we're doing?
Yes.
Anyway, the chief, the question you bring up here, and I know you touched on it before, is really a question we're running into that relates to the numbers, a question of costs. I mean, rightly or wrongly, I've been assuming, for example, that Comcast would provide the training. Now, if Comcast is getting out of this so-called access business, including training, that raises the question, where are we going to get the training and do we have to pay for it? And that question comes up with almost every one of these points 1 to 9, well, I would say 3 to 9, in this sheet.
Well,
We have a budget issue.
I don't
We don't
actually
have
have
a
the
budget.
law here with me, but I know and know. I mean, you might want to get out of the access business, but I'm not sure as the U.S. Congress is going to allow you, you know.
Oh, yeah, sure. We're signing contracts all the time. And
Then you're just signing contracts with people who don't know what they're signing.
I can tell you right now, they know exactly what they're signing, and we're just telling them up front we're getting out of the access business. Now, in some cases, let me tell you, I'll give you an example. We've provided them a transition period to get out of the business, maybe 6 months or something like that. But we have, and that's the way we are moving forward with all our new license agreements, is we're not going to provide.
But they haven't
As a
changed
company,
the law
access.
since 1994. It's been in place.
If there are probably laws and regulations and policies that govern what you're talking about, assuming we were in the access business, and when we're getting out of that business.
Well, I'm saying then maybe you should get out of the cable business. You know what I mean? If you can't cut one of your little legs off of your operation and say, all of a sudden you stuck internet and phone service into your package. You know, you never asked permission for that. Now all of a sudden you're surreptitiously cutting out a bit of the law, so that because you don't want nothing to do with it anymore.
No, we're not circumventing the law at all. We are moving ahead, and we're doing exactly what we're allowed to do within the law. And what we're just saying to these towns and cities that we will provide mechanisms to fund your access. We'll provide mechanisms to do that. The training part, sure, we can. I can look into that and make sure that whoever's going to be in charge is brought up to speed. But it's a small town, and you're biting off a big chunk here, and I don't know the town the way you do, and if there are programming production people that are out there, you need to go find them to help you run this thing.
We have one in here tonight.
Right, but he's the only one I've seen so far.
I'm really not.
No,
I'm
we
just
don't
an
need
amateur.
Yeah,
But
it's also
I am going to follow this, because we can talk about this all we want, but I'm going to follow this up with a letter to Sununu, Judd Gregg, Shea Porter, and Hodes, because they're the ones that write the laws, and they know better than I do, and they know better than he does. You can't, as far as I'm concerned, how can you just take, if you're governed by a law, we're allowing you to put your cable on our property. Do you agree with that?
No, we rent from utilities where we're giving them the right to operate here in town by the town fathers, and then we go out and we rent pole space from power company or telephone company, and we string our cables along there.
Correct, but part of the stipulations when you got this cable license, you
Right.
had to follow the cable access laws that were in place.
Well, when there was this contract was written, there was no cable access laws. They came into effect during the 90s, and I believe it's a 20-year
No, it was
license.
written in 1984. There it is right there.
Telecommunication
Yeah,
laws.
yeah.
But when they got into
Well, what's the old contract? We're talking new now.
Right, and what I'm
And
saying...
the 1994 one says that you will provide.
What I'm saying is that the company is getting out of the access
So
business.
then maybe you should roll your wires up and leave town.
We don't want to do that because we have a great service we offer.
Well, how can you take half of your operation out? You know.
I mean, the access channel here is used, as far as I know, 1 hour a week, one time during the week to show the select. You don't really have an access production here. There's nothing in
We're
the...
trying to get one.
Right, and
But
I'm
evidently-
trying to help you get one.
Okay, well, before we come to such a face-off, what I'm trying to get at here is the practical and the financial implications of these specifications. I mean, you need to help us at least with that.
Yes, I'd be more than helpful, and if you want me to bring in one of our programming people, they come in and they can sit down and they can talk numbers with you, and what it's gonna take to get this thing up and going the way you envision it. And you may say, well, that's too expensive
There's
for us.
no way in hell we're gonna have a paid staffer for this operation.
No, I'm talking about bringing in one of my people to give you an idea that what goes on.
You know, the way